You're watching The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ MV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building.
My man, Jay Williams.
What up? Happy to be here, man.
All weekend, I didn't have no cable, no Wi-Fi because I moved, so it wasn't set up yet. So I finished your book, Life Was Not an Accident. I had to put it down every few chapters. I was like, this is so depressing.
Well, first off, I'm glad you didn't have the internet. I hope I don't have it, too, because I've been getting killed with the Young Heezy comments.
The Young Heezy?
I'm so over it. I'm so over it. I don't want to ever talk about him again. So let's move on.
Andrew Schultz beat Jay Williams in the game of one-on-one basketball.
Yo, it was horrible. It was horrific. The game was a 7, and I spotted him 6 points. And it was like the last shot that he made bounced off the rim like 3 times, and I just never heard the end of it. Like people were like, yo, you're going to write a chapter about the Young Heezy? I'm like, no. I'm not going to write a chapter about Andrew Schultz. Never.
Now tell us your story. Of course, you're from New Jersey. You went to Duke.
Yep.
And then got drafted number 2 behind Yao Ming.
Yep. Got drafted by the Bulls. Got a chance to play for a city that any kid would dream of playing for. Had Jordan's locker. And look, my thing is I never had money before. Like my family, my mom worked 2 jobs. My dad worked up every morning at 4:30 a.m. to go into the city to grind, to work. Didn't come home until 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. So for me, all of a sudden, you hand a 21-year-old several $1 million and just say go. And for me, like, look, when I was a young kid, like I wanted to be an NBA player. Like I watched He Got Game, right? I watched Jesus Shuttlesworth.
Right.
So part of me wanted to live that life. So, plus I came from Duke where I wasn't used to losing. So all of a sudden you come to a team where you lose all the time. And dudes started going crazy, talking to girls during games, partying the night before games, smoking weed before games. And it's easy to get lost in that when your teammates don't care. Why should I care? It's easy to get lost into that. And then that led me overall to eventually just doing what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it. And I bought a motorcycle just because I was bored. I had nothing else to do. And I was, like, who isn't invincible when they're 21 years old?
Right.
You know what I mean? Who doesn't live their life and make mistakes and look back on things like, damn, that could have been a lot differently.
Right.
And for me, my mistake just ended up hitting a utility pole going 70 miles per hour, which changed my life.
Now, what happened now? Of course, you drafted to the Bulls. You decided to buy a motorcycle.
Uh-huh.
Now, I thought when NBA players play, they usually don't allow them or want them to buy motorcycles.
Well, they weren't.
How does that sound, though? Doesn't that sound a little bit?
It sounds crazy, but it's the same thing with insurance.
But your manager was like, or your friend, your agent.
Your agent told
he
you
was
not to
basically
get on
like,
that bike.
do not do it. I don't know why you're riding that motorcycle.
Here's the thing, though. Like, you start making money, you have a lot of people that end up telling you what you want to hear because they're afraid of you losing you as a client. Right? So this position I was in at the time was like a power struggle, where it's like my whole life people been telling me what to do. Right? My whole life people been telling me, yo, you don't say this, but you can say this. Right? So there's been a governor on how I live my life. So now when I finally feel like I'm in control and I have my own money, like, oh no, I'm gonna do what I want to do. Like now, all of a sudden, the roles have become reversed.
You like the girl in high school who parents keep them in the house. As soon as they go to college, they turn into the hub.
I'm gonna go wild.
Yeah.
Which I mean, like, look, you guys have got your own money in different ways. It's like, I never got a chance to go out to a club and get bottles and get. Those are little things that just, as a kid from Plainfield, New Jersey, I dreamed about that kind of stuff. I dreamed about jumping on a G4 and going out to Vegas and partying and doing that stuff. And especially when you lose and people don't care about losing, it's easy to get lost in that.
All these years, I thought you just had a broken leg.
Nah.
But reading that book, I'm like, bro, I would rather have AIDS than everything you went through. I'm serious.
Yo, sometimes you say so much stuff.
My new saying is I can live through anything if Jay Williams made it. I used to say if Magic made it.
Well, at one point you did try to kill yourself, though.
Twice.
His penis couldn't even get hard. Go ahead, tell him all the injuries you had.
His penis couldn't get hard?
Yo, for like a year and a half.
I might be.
Yo, let me just tell you, I would wake up, my boys would play pranks on me. Like they would be playing like porn in my room when I would wake up. And I would be like, what am I supposed to do with that? Nothing would happen. No reaction.
Did you tell them that your penis couldn't get hard?
Dude, my pubic symphysis split 13 inches. So imagine like when a lady has a child, it splits, right? Mine split beyond that. So I had no nerve feeling in my lower half at all.
Did your legs go through the pole like that?
Pretty much what happened is when I popped the wheelie on the bike, right? So
you was wheeling.
I was in third gear. I popped into neutral. I revved the engine twice. On the middle of the third rev, the bike slipped into second. I popped the wheelie. I tried to bring the bike down, but when I brought the bike down, my momentum pulled the throttle even more. And next thing you know, you look up, you see a utility pole. I tried to turn at the last second, clips the whole left side of my body. So I dislocated my entire left knee, which I tore every ligament in my knee. I tore my peroneal nerve, which allows you to pull your foot up and down. And I severed, I kind of split my pubic symphysis by 13 inches, which is crazy. So I've had over 10 plus surgeries, man. Like I have a scar. I know you can't see. I got a scar on the side of my leg. The scar right here is 150 staples on the side of my leg. slits on the inside because when I had surgery, they put 4 slits on the inside of my leg in order to like release the tension. And yeah, man, it's
The crazy thing is, you said you felt like you deserved it.
just because I was living my life differently, man. You know, my parents tried to raise me the right way, and I just felt myself going down a different path, man. It was a path of money and arrogance. You know what I mean? And it's something that we see all the time, you know, in today's society with people doing crazy, idiotic things where it's easy to sit back and be like, why would you ever do that? But it's easy to get lost in the glitz and the glam, like the glamour and the fame, man. It just, I was lying to people. I was cheating on my girl all the time, regardless. I had no respect for her. I was spending money frivolously. I was talking back to my parents and some people, you know, in power positions in my life. And I started.
If you'd got $100 million, you'd have been totally out of control.
I would have been a problem.
Yeah.
I was already becoming a problem. I only got $3 million.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I can't imagine like James Harden, some of the money that they be getting, $100+ million. I mean, your reality becomes warped. It's not real.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can have anything whenever you want it, and nobody on your team is going to say no. You know, so you tell me how that's reality. That's not real life. Do whatever you want.
What I find interesting about you, man, I feel like you never believed in the power of positive thinking until later. And I felt like your mind was so strong, a lot of the things that happened to you, you brought upon yourself just by thinking them, because you would always think the worst, from what I got from the book.
Well, it took me a long time to get to that point, right?
Yeah.
I mean, man, you go through being in the hospital for 2.5, 3 months to, you know, having your lower extremities not really be able to work, to not being able to get an erection for 1.5 years plus, while you have a girl who's trying to stay with you through this accident, even though you've cheated on her, you treated her like trash for a long time.
Noel.
Right, Noel.
Yeah.
So
It's hard to stay positive, dude.
yeah, it's like,
That
yo,
whole
and
ordeal.
here's on top of it, man, I had a lot of anger into me because at first I did this to myself, right? So I couldn't blame nobody. And secondly, there's still not a day that goes by that people don't remind me of that. Like there's still like, I was on my way here today, and our driver, right, a guy named Paris, cool cat, he was like, damn, man, I know you messed up your career like that. Now, he don't mean to say it.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's saying it in a nice way, like it's not malicious or anything, but he's just trying to start a conversation. You know what I mean? So people would say to me, like, when they're trying to recognize, say, oh yeah, that's right. You're the dude that threw away your career at that motorcycle accident. Man,
Threw away
you
your
killed me, man. You killed me that day. Like, you were the one. And I was like, yo, you don't think about, I thought about I was the one too. But so I was a very dark space for a long time, man, which allowed me to be addicted to Oxycontin, do drugs, drink a lot, and just not give a shit.
But even before that, like I think about when you, I guess when you wanted to go to Rutgers because you didn't get accepted to UNC.
Mm-hmm.
And your father was like, no, we honor,
Commitments, yeah.
so let's go down and at least have the meeting with Coach K. And the
Duke.
whole time you was like, I hope it rains. I hope the storm comes.
Yo.
I don't want to go to Duke. I'm like, why is he thinking like that?
Because I wanted to go to Rutgers, man. All my boys are back in Jersey.
You wanted to
right?
stay home.
And so I wanted to be
And you were
that
really
dude.
young at that time.
I was 17.
Right.
I was a kid.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like for me, it was like the pride and the hope of staying home. Like that outweighed going down to North Carolina. And plus, I was afraid about the South, man. You hear all these damn stories about the South and the KKK and racism, all that stuff going on in South Carolina with the flag up and stuff like that. I didn't want to deal with that.
Right.
No, I just wanted to stay home in my little pocket.
Right.
But, you know, it was, thank God my dad forced me to think outside the box, which, you know, opened up my views in life.
I love that quote your father said. Your father told you that you want to be a king amongst men or a king amongst kings.
Yeah, man, it was deep. And that's when I finally put together, I was like, nah, you know what? Like, I want to be the best amongst the best.
So when your leg got messed up, did you try to come back to the Bulls, or try to come back and play basketball?
Yeah.
Key word, try.
Try. What happened? You just couldn't do it. Just
You know what it was, man? Like the biggest part of my injury was my drop foot, right? So, you know, I was telling you about my nerve before. So when my nerve got severed, like I lost the ability to pull your foot up. So imagine that, right? So, you know, you don't think about picking your feet up when you walk. You just naturally do it. Right. So I had to have a surgery on my left foot, which is kind of crazy, where they cut the tendon off the inside of my foot and they moved the tendon to the top of my foot. So when I thought about walking with my left foot, I thought about pulling my foot inward, which will barely pull it up. Right? So when you walk my right foot, I'm thinking about pulling up. My left foot, I'm thinking about pulling inward. Right? So it's difficult to teach yourself how to walk again. Get alone, play basketball, and take notes. I was tripping over myself left and right, man. I could be walking down the street and just fall for no reason. It's like, you okay? I'm like, no, I ain't okay. I just can't pick my damn foot up.
Right.
So, you know, that was the biggest hurdle for me to overcome that I couldn't get over.
Once I think it was some mental too, though, because when you got with the Nets, you was saying they only got me here because I'm from Jersey. I'm like a charity case.
Yep. That was a consolation prize, man.
But you worked hard to get back to that point.
I did. Look, I made it all the way back to that point, but also, you know, I had turned down opportunities to go to other franchises because my girl was in Jersey. And you talk about trying to redeem yourself, right? Like I had treated her such a way before where I was like, nah, I'm going to make this work with her. So I'd rather go to New Jersey. They accepted me. And then they drafted another player, from UConn that same year at the same position.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, why am I even here? Like I had no chance to really make the team. It felt like it was more like a publicity thing for them than me really having an opportunity to actually make the squad in the first place.
Right.
You beat yourself up too because you said you couldn't even kill yourself, right? Tried to kill yourself a few times.
Tried that 2 times. Yeah, the first time was an epic fail. I just wasn't even strong enough, man. Like I weighed 205 pounds. I played at 198.
You tried to hang yourself?
No,
Nah.
your mom walked in, right?
Yeah,
Didn't she
nah.
walk in?
If I hang myself, that might have worked.
You said you were too heavy. I said, well,
I tried to. Well, when I got hurt, when I was in the hospital bed, like in the 3rd and a half, 4th month, I only weighed like $160, man. So I was emaciated. I looked frail, like I didn't eat for years. So I tried to take, scissors, the only thing around, and try to scrape them over my wrist. To try to just, I didn't want to be here no more. One day you're going down I-90 in Chicago and there's a billboard of you, like being the face of a franchise that you dreamed of your whole life. Right. And the next day you're being told you may not ever be able to walk again. Like that's humbling, man. And the second time was worse than the first time because I already been addicted to Oxycontin. I was drinking so much. I was like a shell of myself, man. I weighed like 215, 220 pounds. And I just tried to take like 3 to 4 pills. It was whatever was left in the bottle at the time and drank a half bottle of Jack and just like, yo, this is it. And woke up the next morning and be like, why am I still here? Mm-hmm. So I know like a bigger purpose was revealed later.
Who saved you that time?
Yo, you know what I did, man? Nobody saved me. I mean, what I eventually did was I started to realize that I started to watch all these boards, right? Like all these different companies. And I started to see how all these different CEOs have people they need to answer to, right? So my thing is like, I'm like, yo, who the hell's on Jay Williams' board? Mm-hmm. Like who's on my own board, right? Maybe I should start looking at myself. I should have looked at myself as a company when I started playing, but I was too young and naive to do so. So I'm like, who has the best interest for me, right? So it eventually turned into who's going to hold me to higher standards than I hold myself to. And I started surrounding myself with positive people. Right. Like, yo, you can do this. You can be better at this.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they started calling me out for the BS I was doing in my life, for partying all the time, not responding to calls, like just saying crazy stuff to people, trying to start fights for no reason, just angry. And I just pulled myself out of it because of them. They helped me get out of it.
Our guy, Pastor Carl, was one of those people, right?
Yes, he was, man.
Yes, sir.
Carl saved my life in a lot of different ways. And look, this is not a story about, the church saved my life and all that stuff. But like Carl's a different dude, man. I know you guys had him here in the show. Like first off, when I met him, like I thought the dude who introduced us was more the pastor than Carl was because Carl came with tattoos, dressed like he was some kind of gothic dude, right? And our first basketball game, man, like this guy, it was one Saturday afternoon. I invited him to come play. And we're hooping, and this dude tapped me in the place you shouldn't have tapped somebody when they go for a jump shot, right?
His penis.
Like, just hit me in the balls, right?
Ball checked you?
Ball checked me. You never had that happen to you before?
No.
Oh, dude, you don't need to play hoops with us.
You said
You don't
Gary
get in
Payton
fights.
did that to you too,
GP did it to me too. I'm telling you right now, you were getting fights on the court, dude. This man, somebody hitting you in the balls with a closed fist, right? So I said, yo, do that again. I'm going to take the ball. I'm going to throw it at your head, right? He did it again, threw the ball at his head. Before I
The pastor?
No, that's not a Carl. Carl was on my team, right? I couldn't say that to the pastor.
You just did what, pastor?
Exactly. So before I even got a chance to engage with this dude, Carl jumped in front of me and started defending me. Now, I'm not going to use the terminology he used, but it was like all of a sudden, all right, this dude got my attention, right? Like I haven't met a pastor who has tattoos, who can hoop,
Right.
and who actually uses language like that. And the first time I went to church, man, this dude used a line from Belle Biv DeVoe, like a whole, like, this girl is poison. He started breaking down all these analogies about how, people surround themselves with poisonous things in their life. And I was like, yo, is this cat talking to me?
Never trust the devil with a big butt and a smile.
Exactly. And that's what I've been doing for the past 10 years of my life, right?
Yeah.
With women, with alcohol, with drugs. Like, I just don't give a shit. Like, I'm doing whatever I need to do in order to deal with my pain. And Carl it was like a revelation, man. He just opened my eyes to. He's like, yo, surround yourself with good people. Like, cut all that poison out of your life. And it was a different way I heard somebody speak to me that I never heard before. That was different than a Baptist or a Catholic church. It was real.
One thing you didn't detail in the book, you didn't detail how it felt when you was able to walk again. Like, it kind of went from you getting up on the crutches and then, like, you was back on the court. Like, you did, but you're not just the feeling how you felt when you could just walk without assistance, I guess.
The reason why I didn't is because I can't remember how it felt.
Really?
Because I was so damn busy chasing this past ghost. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, this is our society though, right? Like, we always want more, right? So y'all show is blowing up, but eventually it's gonna get to a point it's like, yo, we want to do something bigger.
Right.
Like, I want more. Like, I deserve this. So for me, for the past 10 years of my life, it's like I felt like I was trying to chase this ghost of what I was able to accomplish in my past. No, I gotta Like I can't even tell you what it was to walk because I was so focused on trying to run and play again. I never took time to be actually present in that moment to appreciate walking. You know what I mean? Like I was so busy trying to remember all that I forgot, all the things I was doing in my past. I was angry. Like I had a lot of animosity in me towards what I threw away because I did that to myself. You know, and you watching hoop games, you see dudes, it blows my mind when I see guys like Reggie Jackson get paid $80 million. Like it's real talk. Like you watch hoops and like with the CBA inflating the way it is, like dudes are averaging like 13 points, getting paid $70 million for averaging 13 points.
Tristan Thompson.
Are you kidding me? Like he didn't even start and he got paid $90 million. And you're like, yo, really? Like I threw that away? Like I was averaging 9 and 4 or 5, but my second year, if I had bumped up 4 more points, like think about that. That's a legacy, man. That's money. You get $80 million. That's money you got for the rest of your life.
Now you play ball now, though.
I still play. Yeah, I still play.
Now I see you play.
Not
with
well,
Clue.
according to Young Hezzy.
Yeah. Oh, stop it. Stop it. You know I want a rematch, dog.
Now you play with Clue. How is Clue?
Oh,
is
don't
Clue,
get me started. I can't.
Is he that trash?
Yo, Clue wears the wave cap to the gym. Clue wears the wave cap to the gym, and then he has the mouthpiece.
The money team mouthpiece.
In 19, and let me tell you what it does. He warms up on the side hoop for like 20 minutes, right? Like he gets like a good lather going up. And then the game is about to start where he's on. And they're like, all right, we're about to start. And then Clue's like, nah, I got to tie my shoes. I'm like, yo, you've been warming up for 20 minutes. You going to tie your shoes now? And he calls a foul every time. Every play, he's like, yo, foul. And he take. I can't. I love him. That's my fam. I love him. But like,
I thought he was going to
him.
be really good based on the way that he dresses and
He dresses like
he comes color coordinated to the gym though. By the way,
and based on all the ish that he talks, but he was not really that good.
Yo, he comes with the fresh kicks. He comes with the outfit that at least costs him like $300. I'm like, yo, who puts together hoop outfits like that? By the way, there's too much preparation that goes into that. Yeah. I mean, and then he just talks, yo, and he'll call foul. He'll argue every possession, dude. It's like. You will get in a 20-minute argument with Clue about whether it was a walk or not. I'm like, Clue, stop calling charges and pickup ball, yo. He was like, it was a charge, yo. If you were watching LeBron James play right now, that would be a charge. I'm like, you were not watching LeBron James play right now. We're watching these dudes at Chelsea Pier. Stop it.
Now, let me ask you something.
That's Clue.
It seems like there's a lot of foreshadowing that you had in this book about things that were going to happen later on in your life, like as far as dreams that you had and kind of things that people have said to you and feelings that you had. Do you feel like a lot of what happened was just your destiny?
I feel like everything happened for a reason. I know people think that's crazy, but I don't know who I would have been if I had continued down that path. You know what I mean? I try to talk about different scenarios, and one of the things I appreciate about Shar is, the way certain people live their life, right? So I look at the path I could have went down, and it's a path that obviously happens in corporate America, happens all around hoops, all around professional sports, where I would have been that dude for sure that would have kissed my wife, kissed my kids goodbye before I got on the private plane to go to my game. I would have landed in a different city. I would have went to a club. I would have picked up 2 chicks or hung out with a chick or whatever. I would have partied the night away. I would have started a relationship with them. And then I would have came back home and kissed my wife and kissed my kids again. Like, I miss you. I love you so much. Like it's so easy to start living multiple lives. You know what I mean? And not even remember, like trick yourself to the point where you don't remember what the hell you were doing the night before. Because you justify it. Nah, that was just that over there. That's not who I really am. Where you actually have no idea who you really are. So I don't know if I would have became that person. I was headed down towards that path.
That's real you said that because I remember when I got fired from my second radio job, I knew I got fired because of what I was doing. Like I was bringing mad girls to the station, just using the position for the wrong reasons, using the microphone for the wrong reasons. And I knew God did that to me, but I was like, it didn't end my career. You know what I'm saying? Like you said that you deserved it, but it totally ended.
But it started him
career.
on a whole different path.
Like it started me on the path where I just didn't give it. Like it started me the path where it's like you get to a certain amount of, people just kissing your ass to a certain point where it's like, oh, okay, like, where are you gonna tell me I can't do that? And it happens all the time. I mean, go to an NBA game right now. Like go to a bad team in the league. I guarantee you'll see a ball boy getting a number from a girl in the game.
Right.
While the game is going on, there'll be a chick on the corner who'll be dressed to the 9, and there'll be some ball boy over there like, yo, take down blah, blah, blah's number. Call you later. I mean, that's how it was. It was like, it was so accessible that, it became your reality.
You told me other players used to get high too. I read that in the book.
Which is so crazy. And look, Jalen's my boy. And obviously, but the real talk, Jalen's a politician. Jalen plays the game better than anybody, right? And he wrote in his book, he was like, oh yeah, Jay, he was going through difficult times adjusting from Duke to the league. And that was true. I wasn't used to. I was 95-13 in my 3 years in college. I lost 13 games in my first month in the league. So that was difficult for me. And he was like, well, none of the guys ever smoke weed before games. That's not true at all. And I was like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, I didn't smoke before games, but I smoked throughout the year. Like, and the reason why I know dudes were high when they play is because I smoked with some of those dudes before. If I smoke with you and I know your eyes are red, and you ask me if I smell popcorn at the beginning of the game, you got the munchies in the middle of the game, homie. Like, you are not sober right now. Yeah. But here's my thing though, like, I don't have anything against it. If that makes you play better, then do whatever you need to do.
Right.
Like,
you didn't name no names.
No, I didn't call nobody out, but it's the reality of the matter. Like, what would you rather somebody do? If you're having pain, would you rather them prescribe Oxycontin or Percocet? Or would you rather them take a hit of marijuana?
Did that piss you off? Like when you were sitting back watching at home and whoever was smoking weed probably still was in the league and you was like, look at this one, still high out there playing?
No, man, because, my thing is like, I don't get angry at dudes I play with. Like, I want the best for everybody. I get mad. I'm like a fan now. I get mad at dudes I think are like, I'm like, yo, that dude's kind of a bum. He got 60 million? Like, so, that's what gets me salty, right? Like, dudes you play against in the summer, you're like, yo, that got you, really?
I busted his ass.
Yo, I gave him 30 back in college. It was that kind of animosity I had towards the game. Not so much like, I always wanted guys on my team to make your money, man. Look, they're giving away money.
Now,
why
what's
not?
the silver lining? Now, I don't hear no silver lining out of this story.
It didn't come to the very
Don't
It didn't
wait,
come to
hold
the
on,
very
let's
end.
not- Maybe
It was
you
a
want
long
people to buy
process.
the book and you don't want to give everything away.
It was a long
Tell me
process,
something
man.
positive,
But
man.
I
It was a long process.
But is it still
He's
like,
here. He wrote a book.
Have you learned to get out of your own way?
Yeah, man. I think my perspective now is that I find humor in life, right? So, prime example, I had to do a radio interview a couple weeks ago, and I was a little bit late because of traffic, and I grabbed a motorcycle helmet, and I came in, and the guy was like, oh, sorry you were late. I was like, oh, man, I'm sorry. There was just crazy traffic, and I slammed the helmet down on the desk, and the dude's like, yo, you rode here? And I was like, yeah, man. I just jumped on. It was just a lot of traffic, and he was like, yo, why would you do that? You hurt me so much. So, like, I laugh at it now. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a lot more positive in my
You don't ride
outlook.
motorcycles no more.
No, I ride in trucks, man. I like things with a lot of steel around me.
Okay.
Feels a lot more safe that
But
way.
you never went broke, though, because your parents never spent your NBA money.
No, we saved my money, man. And that was the cool thing about it. I spent all the money that I had from endorsements. Like, I had multiple endorsements. So you look at the big scheme of things, man. Like, my thing is that everybody's had some kind of accident in life. Now, look, mine may have been on a crazy scale, or the Richter scale, right? But I've had some friends that have gone through a divorce where, like, they've been in a rut for like 3 years. I'm like, yo, let's go, pick up. I've had dudes that lost their job, or I've had friends that have lost their kids, right, through childbirth, or the kid gets in an accident. So everybody's had some kind of accident, but it's like, how the hell do you pick yourself up and find, life is all a matter of perspective, man. So I look at my life now as the prism that, you know what, things happen, but like no longer am I shunning that pain away. I'm like, yo, it's a part of my story, and I love it. I gotta embrace it.
If Jay Williams tell you to get over it, get over it.
Absolutely.
Because if you can get over what you got over, I'm dead serious. When I was thinking about this when I read about, I was like, yo, would I rather went through a Magic?
You said
went
you'd
through
rather have AIDS?
or HIV?
Well, there's no
Okay.
cure
I
for
don't
that.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was.
I don't
But
know if
no.
See,
What Jay went through
I'm happy that I'm
mentally-
seeing the looks from both of you right now, because when I'm at home and he says stuff like this, I have the same look. I have the same look. I'm like, I wonder if Angie and him are thinking the same thing.
Okay,
I don't
HIV.
agree.
Magic Johnson's level of HIV.
Okay, well, he has the money to cure it, though.
Yeah. But what you went through mentally and physically, I don't think the average person could have survived that. I really don't.
Well, the one thing I can't survive is a young hezzy, so I still can't get over
Well,
it.
why haven't you because when I'm reading your story, I'm like, damn, why haven't you taught young kids how to play? Because you were dead nice. You're from Jersey, and there's 1,000,001 AAU teams that would love for Jay Williams to show them how to play ball. And show
Yo,
them
well,
how to dribble. And
I
show them how to shoot and all
I
that.
tried to do that, not like on the coaching aspect, but I tried to become an agent. Like, I tried to work for an agency, and I saw how crooked the game was, and this left a bad taste in my mouth. I mean, i.e. Kevin Love, right? So when I was working for the agency, we were trying to recruit Kevin Love.
Right.
Now, look, these AAU programs are like 501c3s, right? So you can give them as much money as you want, and in return, they provide access to the kid.
Right.
So I knew our agency, had given their AAU program some money. I didn't know it was $250,000.
Yeesh.
Like, that's the kind of money you're talking about for access to a kid. So, Kevin and I had built a relationship, right? Like, we were cool. Like, I didn't know if he knew what was going on. I never really talked to him about it. He was smart. He was a savvy dude. I figured he would probably figure it out. Sat down with his parents multiple times. Like, everybody seemed like they knew what was going on and was cool. And then out of nowhere, like, I guess, Yahoo got wind of the story. and they broke a story. And the story wasn't about the agency, our agent at the time, or about our agency. The story was about me. And it was like, oh, Jay Williams trying to be an agent, giving money to players, blah, blah, blah.
Wow.
And just blew the whole thing out of proportion. And Kevin Love got, he got quoted saying, why would I ever want to sign with an agent through his career away in a motorcycle accident?
Wow.
Like straight up. So that was the one that led me to my second attempt at suicide, because I wanted to go to UCLA with a bat and bash Kevin Love's legs in.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, you gonna throw me underneath the bus like that? Like you just hit
Well, actually,
me.
he threw you underneath the motorcycle.
Yeah. Same thing at this time. I'd rather have been a bus.
Yeah.
But it was like, yo, I'm like, you just sent me a text. Like, yo, like we all good? And then that came out. Like, so it was like, that's the kind of stuff that was just, it was so crooked. And then seeing how money was being funneled to some coaches too. Like it was, the system is so warped and it's so just crazy that it's like a needle in a haystack in order for you to get a kid.
I was wondering if you could get Kevin Love in trouble for that, because you said that, I don't know if he took the $250,000 or somebody.
Or his AAU program took it.
Yeah.
I don't know where the money went to. That's not my
Is
responsibility.
that legal?
Yeah, because they're charities.
It doesn't go to the kids.
They're all charities. It's
Gotcha.
for the kids,
Right.
supposedly, quote unquote, the kids.
Gotcha.
You get to fly the kids around, travel, and all that,
Gotcha.
uniforms.
I mean, so it's like a needle in a haystack, because you got the shoe companies that are buying for the kids' services. You got the coaches that are affiliated with the shoe companies that want the kids to go to their school.
Big business.
Like, man, look, these coaches are getting paid like $6-7 million a year.
And you feel like the college players should definitely get paid.
Damn right.
Without
I mean,
question.
the NCAA sold the rights to the tournament for $10.6 billion.
Damn.
$1 billion. So I know college coaches that get paid more than NBA coaches right now. So here's my thing, Char. Like, you got shoes on, right? Like, you're wearing Timbs right now. So say you walk around the Timbs for 10 days, and somebody on Twitter or IG is like, yo, I want those Timbs. I pay you $10,000 for them. Would you sell it?
You damn right, they're mine.
Okay, great. You would sell it. They're yours. I couldn't do that. Like, I have shoes. Like, I've been wearing these Nikes for the past
you can't
2
sell
months.
Your own shoes.
And I can't sell my own shoes, because then I'm labeled as a cheater. Like, because I'm taking money now. Whereas everybody else can make money around me. Like the
Off
coaches,
of
the
me.
assistants. Like, my jersey sale did over $2.5 million my last year, but I can't get a percentage of that. I can't get anything.
I can't believe that has not been changed yet.
That
No, it's like
system is
it's
so
almost like
flawed.
indentured servitude, man. It's like the man saying, like, no, you're going to work and you're going to do this, and everybody else is going to profit, and you should be lucky because you get a $35,000 dollar education per year.
I think that's whack, because I feel like college sports is like amateur ball. So what about all those guys who don't go pro? Because what's the percentage? Like 0.0001
Yeah,
go
it's
to the pros?
it's a crazy percentage.
Yeah.
So my thing is like, and here's the thing about it though. So most of the cats don't even go to school. All I gotta do is get by my first semester. So if I get all D's and I get 1 C, like, I get by. So all of a sudden I'm eligible to play. So I don't have to go to school the second semester. I can just kick it, do whatever I want, and play, and then I'm going to the league, I'm out. So I don't get any money for that, or for all the dudes that do stay and graduate. Like, maybe you take a small percentage of what each program earns, and you put it in escrow, and you say, okay, if you graduate, if you maintain this GPA, you're entitled to this percentage of money. At least incentivize the kid to get some kind of money out of the whole thing.
Absolutely.
Now, last question. Seleta Ebanks.
Oh, Lord.
Now, you spoke about her in the book.
Mm-hmm.
You said she was kind of crazy.
Do you want me to expound?
Yes.
Char, you always going, I love you. Seleta's a cool girl. It was just when I went through that time, I was a little bit crazy too, though. So it was one of those things for me, I was mad insecure, right? I'd never been with somebody like that.
Okay.
So I'd never been with somebody who would mess around with Nick Cannon, somebody who mess around with Osio Manora, right? From that life. And for me, like, I wasn't used to, like, you gotta understand, like, what I just came out of around that time, like, I had got the spotlight for a minute, and then it all went away, right? It was like 1 second, you're this dude, next second, you're this dude that failed, and everybody's making fun of you. So all of a sudden in the way, it was like meeting her randomly in the Cayman Islands with my mom. Thank you, Mom, for that bounce pass, by the way. It was unbelievable. I never had somebody do that for me before. So it was like almost in a way, it was like, okay, like, this is how that life is. And I wasn't used to that life, man. I was used to going out and hanging out with my friends, but I always seen the car services, all the things that came along with dating somebody like that. So for me, like, it just culminated, like, alcohol makes people do crazy things.
So,
right?
because you said she had a drinking problem too in the book a little.
Well, I think everybody has a drinking problem to a certain degree. I mean, we were out partying,
Gotcha.
and then just the way that whole night went down was so epic, because you get a chance to hang out with somebody like Serena Williams, and she's such a lioness, but she's so, like, laid back. And so you go to a club, and I'm just talking to a girl who dated one of my friends, and then just to have your girl at the time black out on you and just dip, and it was like one of those, like, it was the perfect moment, because as soon as she dipped, you see like 7 bottles come out with sparklers, and all of a sudden your table went from being like 13 to 2 people, you and your boy, just like.
Well, you got to paint the story for people who,
Yeah, because I'm confused.
Jay's with Seleta. Salita's like, I got a friend for your dude. The girl ends up being Serena Williams.
So we go to dinner. Everybody's kicking at dinner. My boy's like, yo, your girl invited Serena Williams? Really? This is going to be a great night. So we started drinking at dinner, right? We started having drinks, doing shots of tequila. Then it's like, yo, we're going to go to SL. So everybody gets in the car service. She's like, yo, we got our friends meet us there. Mm-hmm. We go in. Her whole crew's there. My crew's there. Where everybody's chilling at the table. We walk in, see the host. He's like, oh, hey, what's up, Jay? Talk to her for a second. Hand her my ID. I see our waitress come over. It was a girl that my boy dated in the past. Mm-hmm. They dated for like 3-4 years. I was like, oh, yo, what's up? Hug her. We catch up for like good 4 or 5 minutes. Could have been, who knows how much long we were catching up. Next thing I know, I turn around, I see Salita up in a frenzy. I'm like, oh, what's happening? And before I even get a chance to get to her publicist comes to me and is like, yo, we're leaving. And I'm like, well, hold on a second. Like, let me talk to her. Like, I'm not talking to you. And by the time I get around to talk to her, I don't even know what she says to me. It's like blackout status. Right? Just like laying it out on me. And she dips out and Serena says, I'm sorry. She leaves. And next thing I know, these 10 damn sparkler bottles are coming towards my table and the music stops. And I'm like, oh, ain't this a bitch?
Why didn't you send the drinks back?
No, man.
They already opened those bottles. It's too late.
Yeah, it was already locked in, man. It was already locked in.
Now, I heard you was stalking Salita for a while after that.
Well, I don't know about stalking. It was cool. I didn't stalk her, but it was
her side
said stalk.
Yes.
I define stalk.
I don't know. I didn't get into the details.
Show up at her house.
Calling, following, chasing down. No, I don't know if I was stalking her. I was calling her, be like, what's up? What's going on? I liked her, yo. And at the same time, I got to know who the hell I was becoming, right? Like, I'm not going to sit here and say I wasn't. Like, I liked her. And she was,
what age was this?
I was like 24, 25.
Oh, okay.
And, oh, yeah, by the way, when I met her, though, she was the laid-back, chill Salita. And this is not me going against Salita. She's a great girl. She'll make anybody happy. But, like, Salita in the Cayman Islands was different than Salita running the show. Right. When she was back in New York. They were two completely different people. Mm-hmm. And that's fine. And then my next relationship was something that, she was like, well, I can't believe you would do that. And she started talking to me, and it was like,
was that Roxy? You didn't say her name in the book.
That was Roxy, yeah.
That's when I met him, actually. He was dating
Roxy
at the BET Awards.
I'll never forget that, being at the BET Awards and you're dating Roxy, right? I'm dating Rock. And I'm sitting there, and that's when she just tongued down TJ on the set. And you're like,
what? Salita did.
Oh, no, Roxy. That was at BET Awards. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
They kissed full blown.
Oh, I remember
and
that
you're
on
like,
stage. Yeah,
you're like, yo, this is all happening right now.
I remember that.
This is all happening right now.
But y'all didn't break up after that. I saw you guys.
No, yeah,
it
took us a while, and I was insecure. Some things in her past too, and there were certain things that happened with me that I wasn't, fully upfront about, and that's the industry though, man. Dating people in the industry is difficult.
In the book, you said Salita can't stand Roxy.
Well, that's what she said. I didn't say it.
Why didn't you name her name in the book?
It's because it wasn't one of those things. Look, it was going to bring attention to whatever it was, and
that's interesting because Salita was dating Terrence J.
It's all full circle. It's disgusting. I don't even know how to talk about it right now.
Wow. Well, the book is out right now.
Life is not an accident.
Lay out. I know.
This turned into Superhead somehow.
I know, right? Out of nowhere.
Hold it up. You.
Hold up the book.
Life is not an accident. It's a great memoir. Like, incredible.
Or your words, it was sad and depressing all the way into the last chapter.
You'd rather have HIV.
It made me feel better about
HIV in the whole scheme of things.
It will make you feel better about whatever you're going through. Like when people say you take your problems and put them in a barrel compared next to somebody else's, you'll snatch yours back. This is the one you
Yo, and I know Rock is your girl too. I know y'all are family, right?
Yeah, Rock is cool.
Yeah, so she's still cool too. So look, there's no beef. I don't have no beef with nobody. I know, all I'm saying is, you're 24, 25 years old. It's always differently when you look back at things when you're 34. You know what I mean? As you get older, you're like, really? Like, I did that? So I called attention to myself, too, in the whole thing.
Did you smash Salita Eubanks?
Oh, stop
That was his girlfriend. What would you think?
Of course he did. It's the Breakfast Club.
Never did.
The Breakfast Club. Every weekday morning. Tune in.